we generally use remote desktop and all if it is a LAN. But here in a broader network like internet, we use technologies like web servers and browsers and internet are the ones which we need to access the other systems.
Right.
So when accessing other systems, so they have to cater. They cannot just open up their entire resources for you, which is not necessary. Sometimes might be a security issue also. So they would confine you. So they would take your request, for which they give some kind of interactive UI that's like HTML, where you can log in. After you log in, they will show you only data that is related to you. So you delete something, you're deleting on their database. You're creating something, you're creating on their database. So only interface is your browser and things. So that is cloud.
Yeah.
And why is cloud a buzzword today? Because of many advantages of cloud in terms of the vendor who is providing it and from the user who is using it. Vendor perspective, advantages of cloud, like apart from cloud, what are the other computing models that you can compare with? When I say advantage over what? There are other computing models also.
Okay.
Right? Like client server models.
Right.
Peer-to-peer computing.
Yeah.
Grid computing, mainframes, utility, autonomous. So many different ways that you can interact with machines. But cloud is one different model that is only needed, an internet and a browser. So it is totally independent of hardware and software. I don't say we don't need it, but it's independent. It doesn't need any particular hardware or any particular software.
Right.
That's a big advantage. And second thing is low cost. If I don't need a particular hardware, then it's easier for me, to internet one place, so that cost will be drastically reduced. I don't need to pay those real estate costs, those infrastructure costs, those networking costs, electricity bills, so on and so forth. Whatever is related in a general client server model, you don't need it anymore here.
Right.
So that's a good thing for vendor as well. And multi-tenancy. Multi-tenancy is like advantage technically, where if you find a client server model, a user uses the client and authenticates with the server. And server, while authenticating and saying yes, right, it will open up a session for the user, a dedicated session.
Yeah.
And that session will be destroyed only when the user logs off. So
Right.
till when the session is maintained. And how many number of users authenticate, those many number of sessions will be opened for them. And all the sessions are built from the scratch, dedicated for those users. That will be a kind of load on the server, and it's difficult to provide security and performance wise also. It's a backdrop, and it works fine if it is a client server model, because you got limited clients per server. Whereas it comes to a cloud model, you got millions of users. You can. So the same strategy might not work. So what Google and Yahoo and these fellows does is they create the platform, and the platform has all the services, and users log in, use the platform of services, and then they log off. There are no separate sessions being created for individual users, and it is enough to maintain that one platform, which is always available. You don't need different. It's like analogy to a different tenants of yours staying at different places in a city. So you have to provide services individually. It might delay the process. Performance might not be same all the time. But if they're all located in one single building in different flats, you can provide common security, and performance would be higher, quick response. So kind of things similarly.
Okay.
And maintenance. Maintenance is a big advantage. imagine you have to apply a small patch on a client-server model-based deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody would know you're doing something, so you will have to inform them much ahead, take their time. If it's a multi-region deployment, people should be coordinating well, and every single system which has got the client should have the patch for it to be working. So that's actually a project in itself. Whereas in a cloud model, that effort is totally reduced. So you can do it at one place, you log into Yahoo tomorrow, you find everything new look. So that's a great advantage. Maintenance is
Right.
very simple. And from the user's perspective, there are some advantages. Anywhere, anytime. Biggest advantage and user demanded feature. They can bank any place, anytime. Okay, they can shop any place, anytime.
Right.
Okay. They can social network. They can email. So that's what even companies also encourage, because they don't want huge crowds at their banks or their shops or whatever. So that's the big advantage, and that's the reason it is. Another thing is internet speeds today are much better compared to previous years. So more and more development is taking place on the internet. So it's no wonder going forward, or it might be already there, that if copying a GB data would be faster over an internet than copying over a pen drive. So it's so much evolving. So that way, people are also thinking to go for it, and everything is going online. What not? Even there are lens cards as well. You can buy your eyeglasses on. I didn't expect that. So there are so many things going online. People are talking about it. So every single software today, which is a client-server based or a autonomous software, wanted to have a face of internet. That is software as a service. They would like to go online. So they might have backend, but they would like to go online. So why not CRM in such case? CRM is one.
Actually, could we just discuss the SaaS, software as a service, in little bit detail? So I'll just explain my understanding.
Okay.
It's like you provide a software on a particular server, and the user access that particular software from that server. The user can be located anywhere else in the world, but through World Wide Web, the user can access that software. Is that software as a service?
Yes, that is.
Okay, thank you.
And have you used any software like that?
I'm thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure I've used it.
So have you done any internet banking?
Yeah, I have.
So what is that? That's the software, right? They provided you.
But I'm logging on their web, so their website is my software?
Of course. So what is that? Say transferring funds or knowing your account balance. You were doing that, going to the bank, standing in a line earlier. Now you are doing it yourself from the comfort of your home, anytime. So what is that? That software is online as a service for you.
Okay, got it.
So software is that end tool for the user. Your emails, checking, inbox, sending an email. So that's the software.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So your social networking is a software. Your e-commerce is a software. You can pay your bills. There is a step-by-step process how you add to cart, check out, pay the bills. So that's all a software.
Yeah, okay, making sense. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Everything is software as a service for you. Only thing that is not a software is just a static web pages. Like they give you data about reading it, like 5 pages that you have for some mybusiness.com and nothing. You don't have to log into it. So that's just like static page, not a software.
Okay.
So why not CRM? So CRM is such a domain. It's like, I would say always fresh domain. So it's keep on developing, inventing new ideas to reach to customers. But what is CRM as such? As you rightly said, it's managing the customers. So today, customer is like God or king, whatever you say, but total businesses are like customer centered. And of course, the topic of CRM is not for the computer guys for sure, because we've not learned that, or anybody who has done the computers have not got any of CRM topics in their academics. They don't learn that. But it's a domain, it's a business. That's for MBA people or some other people who wants to grow their business revenues. So they need that CRM. So CRM is a subject. It's not any software related tool or software related item or domain. So CRM, people are now giving more emphasis. I mean, not now, maybe like 20, 30 years onwards. But before that, they were only monopolies. They don't really care. If the TVs broke down, that's fine. Nobody's going to come attend that. But today, it is like if you don't care about your customer, someone else will definitely care. So what you need in today's world is quick response. Right. So every company thrives to achieve this quick response. It takes time, it is possible to revert to a question of a lead asking you something, or a person who is more serious into the product asking you something, or a person placing an order asking you a quote. A delivery should be quicker. The service request should be quicker. Promotions should be quicker. So in this quicker, days or era, so it is very important that you catch up to speed. And because of huge competition and also multi-regional companies, MNCs, and also huge relations that you can have. Like today with a bank, I might have a savings account, but tomorrow maybe my child's account, maybe current account, maybe demat account, credit card, loan with the same bank. So my relationship with the company is growing. So it is very hard for me to manage, from the company perspective, if we don't have a good software or a computer to handle it. So that's where this CRM domain is picked by a lot of software vendors, and they made very good products out in the market. There are a lot of products which promise the businesses saying that they are the best CRMs which could maintain the relationship with their customers. So out of which, to name few, I can say Siebel and JD Edwards, Microsoft Dynamics. You got PeopleSoft. You got SAP CRM. You got so many. Clarify, Sugar is open source though. And you have got Salesforce also .com, and you got Oracle On Demand as well. So I've listed Salesforce On Demand separately because the other all I mentioned are client server model based. So they have the software. They are like on premises. You have to install them, and that actually cut down all the advantages that a cloud model will have. So in the cloud space, in deploying a software in a cloud model, Salesforce and Oracle On Demand are quite successful. There are many other hundreds of CRMs which are quite successful, but not ranked as much as Salesforce and Oracle On Demand. So like Salesforce is pretty high now. You might be knowing better than me. So Salesforce is really good. So what is that making Salesforce being the first pick? Or what is that Salesforce has got? So Salesforce hasn't started like Salesforce, basically. They've started like Force.com first. Force.com with an idea that a programming language can be coded, compiled, debugged, deployed, everything online. That was the idea. So they wanted a Java-like language to be online. So they named it as Apex, A-P-E-X. Don't know, somebody say that's an advanced programming experience, they call it as. So the idea was to have a feel to do everything online. And it was quite successful. There are vendors, ISVs, partners from so many different parts of the world. They were, using those services features, and they started building a lot of products. They have a marketplace like iTunes or Google Play. Apex marketplace is also there, where you find many products from different zoners. Until the first CRM package was released by Salesforce for the very first time, it was a very tiny product, only targeted for smaller companies to maintain their smaller businesses. It really picked up well because, as I said, CRM is such a huge market, as well as it's always fresh. People look for fresh things. Like Salesforce has got cutting-edge technologies that it can integrate well with social networking sites, ad agencies, so on and so forth. Integration is quite easy, and it only costs less than $100, depending on the license you're taking, per month per user. Whereas millions of dollars you have to invest in a client server model-based application. That way, Salesforce is received well in the market, plus added to it, you just have seen recession at the time where people started looking for cheaper options. So Salesforce was one among them to pick, and slowly it has proved itself as well, catering to the needs of clients. And today it is no more a small company. So Salesforce now Force.com is not bothered much, or it's a backbone though, but it's not Force.com. They promote Salesforce.com.
Okay.
So if I have to go for cloud, should I go for Oracle On Demand or Salesforce? So I would like to see it the architecture way to make a decision. So user at one end, he uses an application, and application built on a platform, which is again needs some infrastructure, and on the other side you find a server. So anybody who is providing an application online is like providing software as a service, as we just mentioned. So Oracle On Demand also provides the CRM. Salesforce also provides, yes. But it provides a platform also online. The advantage of it is you can extend the features of whatever has been given out of the box to whatever you wanted. So that's an advantage. I can configure it the way I want it, but Oracle On Demand doesn't have it. They do everything for you, deploy it and give it to you. They don't. They don't have a platform for users to develop themselves. And you have infrastructure also as a service. Infrastructure means storage space or bandwidth, performance, anything for hardware.
Okay.
Also, so lack of platform for Oracle On Demand may be one of the reasons why Salesforce is picking up, or too far ahead than Oracle On Demand, of course. So if I mention a statement like Salesforce is a CRM tool based on cloud mode. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Salesforce contains mainly two parts: administration and development. Administration is straightforward, out of the box or point and click, whatever. Okay, it's like customizing the application for client needs. That's what administration is all about. You customize the application for client needs.
So this administration means something like we have administrators of quality center in offices. Like the tool is installed and then they are the admins. They configure the tool so that the users could use it in certain way, like the defect workflow or something like that.
So in general, an admin is the person who is responsible for performance tuning, deployment, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
In a typical client-server model in an environment. But admin here has nothing to do of that sort. But an admin here is more concerned in terms of setting up users.
Sridhar, you were cutting. Your voice was not clear. I think you need to repeat that.
How is it now?
It's better now.
Okay. So an admin here would do creating users, profiles, setting up the organization details, and also involved in deployment, yes. But that's all online, so things are pretty easy here. Performance tuning, things like that are taken care automatically. Apart from that, an administrator is responsible to kind of creating new objects, new fields, reports, dashboards. So because these are like point and click, there doesn't need a technical knowledge or programming knowledge.
Okay.
Whereas the development, is like extending the features of Salesforce. So extending the features of Salesforce means whatever is being given is not sufficient. So we need to add more. So if you're adding a feature, then you need to add a UI for it, right? So there are two parts here, the front end and also the back end. So front end is taken care by Visualforce, which is a framework given by Salesforce guys which you can use to reduce your effort of HTML and CSS. It's like front end for you. A basic HTML and CSS knowledge is just sufficient for the start on the Visualforce. And on the back end, you've got Apex. Apex is programming on the server side. Whatever front end you have to support it, you can write your code. So kind of oops knowledge is just enough, or some core Java concepts, or you figure out I pretty good now. So those.
Sridhar, last sentence was again cut off. Do you please repeat?
I was saying like programming is pretty simple here. So understanding of OOPS concept is just enough to move on.
Okay.
The total course would take around 30 hours. And typically 4 to 5 weeks of time. Daily 1 hour or 1.5 hours would proceed according to the schedule. So I hope you've been given the course content.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay, good. So coordinate with Satya from SSCyient, right? He's the organizer.
Yeah.
Okay, so for any further details. And throughout the process, mostly we will be doing practical, so I will help you create a login for yourself and I'll make you do everything what I say. Apart from it, I'll give you real-time applications for you to practice. So completing them, you will be near equal to a 1.5 to 2 year experienced Salesforce guy.
Okay.
So that's something that we can promise. We can help you, provide you some resumes, sample resumes to prepare your resume as well, and some kind of help I can offer to verify whatever resume is. So that's what the whole content is about. So you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few questions. So this training is going to focus on the administration piece, right?
Training will be both on administration and development together.
Okay. And how difficult it is for a non-technical person? Like I consider myself as a non-technical person with kind of okay understanding of coding. How difficult?
If we say non-technical, difficulty, effort, and time as parameters, to achieve you wanted, if one is less, you need to increase the other one to balance it. So
okay.
there is no numbers that we can give, right, for measuring your difficulty, your non-technicalness. So I would say for development, HTML, CSS are required for Visualforce. So if If you're not good at it or if you don't know it, then I would say you start it. It's not. It will take only a couple of hours for you to get familiar with them. So maybe W3 schools for something that you could go for and do it. So
Yeah, I have done all the three things here: HTML,
exactly,
CSS, and
exactly.
OOPS in past.
So I cannot exactly draw a line for you. This is your non-skill or non-technical stuff. But it is up to you. When you see the course content, when we are going through the course, if you feel that you need or you lack in that, then you need to put more effort. It depends only on you.
Okay. And question 2 is, as you were saying that after like 30 hours or so, I would, plus, I mean, my extra efforts other than what you're explaining and guiding me. So you're saying the 1 to 2 years of experience on Salesforce would be easy for me to defend, right?
If I told you that after 30 hours of training, you will be equivalent to an hour and year and a half or 2 year experienced Salesforce guy,
Yeah.
then I would be lying. I won't say that.
Okay.
30 hours doesn't fetch you anything except knowledge and familiarity about the product. It depends on how much you practice. Hours of effort that you're keeping, it might take 1 month for you, along with my 30 hours of training. If you're putting like 3-4 hours, whatever amount of effort that you require to complete the apps, that's important. After completion of the apps, I said you will be equivalent to 1 to 1.5 years.
Apps, you
Not after.
mean